Welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. If you've been enjoying my bread machine series here for the month of January, I look forward to sharing yet another video with you. Today, I will be sharing how to make garlic and herb knots. This is soft, this is delicious, and this pairs beautifully with pretty much any meal you're preparing. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found us. Our channel is all about scratch cooking, using wholesome ingredients, and nurturing our families with wonderfully prepared meals. So to get started making these garlic and herb knots, I am going to mill some flour. So I'm making these garlic and herb knots with freshly milled flour with the addition of vital wheat gluten. Now, you can use this with an all-purpose flour. You can use this with a half and half recipe if you want to use some all-purpose and some freshly milled flour. I'm using 100% hard white wheat with the addition of vital wheat gluten. So to get started, I am going to mill some flour. I am going to be milling about 3 cups of flour for this recipe. While that is milling, I am going to be adding all the other ingredients into my bread machine pan. For this, I'm going to be using approximately 1.5 cups of water, but I'm going to start with only 1 cup of water, put all the other ingredients in, and while my bread machine is working, I'm going to be drizzling in more water as needed. Now, I have to take this step because I'm using freshly milled flour, and freshly milled flour absorbs liquids differently than all-purpose flour. Sometimes it needs more, sometimes it might need a little bit less. So I start with 1 cup of water, and then as the machine is going, I'm going to add more water as needed. The trick is to make sure that you stick next to the machine while it's going for the first 5 to 10 minutes, and you're going to be able to read the dough the more you use this bread machine. It's a wonderful tool, but it also needs a little bit of assistance, especially in the beginning stages. So I'm adding my 1 cup of water. Then I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of oil. And for this, you can use whatever oil you have in your kitchen. You can use olive oil. I'm using avocado oil. But to get that authentic garlic taste, olive oil will probably be best. I'm also going to add about 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to also add 3 tablespoons of vital wheat gluten, and my rule of thumb is for every cup of flour, I add 1 tablespoon of vital wheat gluten. The vital wheat gluten will be adding structure to my rolls, and it will also help to keep them nice and soft. Now, this is a versatile recipe, and for this you can add the herbs right into your bread pan right now. You can also add some minced garlic, you can add some powdered garlic, but I'm going to leave my dough unflavored for now because I'm making this dough for my family, and some of them like the garlic flavor and some do not. So for me, I'm leaving it plain, but if you want, you can add cheese into this, you can add herbs, you can add the minced garlic like I mentioned before, or you can add some powdered garlic in this. Once I've gotten everything in, I will also add in about 2 teaspoons of yeast. This can be active yeast, this could be instant yeast, or this could be bread machine yeast. As long as you know your yeast is fresh and healthy, you can add it in. The next step is very simple. I'm going to take it over to my bread machine. I'm going to program my machine for cycle number 9, which is what aligns with my bread machine. Now, whatever bread machine you have, you're going to select the dough cycle. I'm using the Cuisinart convection model bread machine, and for me, that is cycle 9, but whatever is on your bread machine, you will go with that. And I'm going to open up my bread machine, and using my spatula, I'm going to help the bread machine pull this together. This is necessary, I feel like, when using vital wheat gluten and freshly milled flour. But when you're using all-purpose flour, this may or may not be necessary. But I still caution you, since I haven't used all-purpose flour in a while, to stay near your machine just to double check and make sure that everything comes together nicely. It only takes about 2 to 3 minutes for this dough to come together and for you to be able to walk away. So it's not a huge burden, it's not a huge additional amount of time that you have to quote unquote babysit this machine. So I put all my ingredients in, I watch it for a few minutes, I drizzle in water as necessary up to a half a cup, and then that's it. I close my machine and I walk away. My machine takes about 1 hour and 25 minutes, sometimes 1 hour and 30 minutes to pull the dough together. And so in that time, you can do whatever you need to do. You can walk away, you can go spend time with your children, you can clean up some dishes, whatever you need to do. Sometimes take some minutes to yourself. So this is a versatile machine because it allows you to do multiple things at once. And I know all of us are really busy. And so this takes the guesswork out of making bread. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half and now my dough is ready. I'm going to turn it out onto a clean surface, and you can either grease your surface or you can put a little bit of flour down. My dough wasn't very sticky, and so I just put it down on the clean surface. And then I'm going to kind of eyeball the sizes. I'm shooting for 12 pieces here, and so that's what I'm doing, making sure that they're evenly sized before I start shaping them. My baking sheets are pretty small, and so I'm going to divide these 12 pieces into 2 trays so that they have enough space to rise and they have enough space to bake. You can bake them all on one of these sheets that I'm using, but the problem is that they start touching and then they kind of run out of room. So I wanted to make sure that each garlic knot had the potential to become the size it wanted to be in the oven, so I decided to divide it into 2 trays. And so I'm going to take each piece, I'm going to roll it between my hands, or you can roll it on your countertop surface, that works as well, into a log. And once I do that, then I'm going to tie a knot with my hand just like this. Do that 12 times and you're ready to go. Very simple, very straightforward. Once I have all of my garlic knots shaped, I am going to melt some butter on the stove, and to that I'm going to add some powdered garlic. I will also add some parsley and a touch of salt. You're going to make this topping to your family's liking. If you don't want to add the garlic, you don't have to. If you want to melt in some other herbs at this point, by all means, go ahead. You have full reign to do whatever. But what I did for here is just melted butter, parsley, salt, and some garlic powder. I am going to use my pastry brush and I'm going to brush some of these with this butter topping, and I will leave some of them plain. Again, in my family, some people like the flavor, some do not, and so I'll just leave a few plain so that there are options for those who want it. And from this point, again, it's very simple. We're going to brush this butter onto the tops of some of them, and then we're going to get it into the oven. You want to bake these at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 18 minutes. It depends on how hot your oven is, but you want to start checking at the 15-minute mark. You can use a thermometer to make sure that they are at temperature, and you're going to pull them when they're finished. Once they are finished baking, you can pull them from the oven and you can apply a little bit more of the topping when it's warm, just to keep that soft consistency. And this is what it looks like, you guys. It's really simple, but it's also very, very delicious. This pairs well with pretty much anything. We were having pasta this night and it was a wonderful dipping bread to dip into that pasta sauce. So feel free to try this recipe. I will make sure that I have the recipe card up on the screen so that you can do a screenshot if that is what you would like to do. If you have any questions about making garlic herb knots in your bread machine or making any other recipes in your bread machine, please feel free to leave your questions down below. I look forward to hearing from all of you. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would like to get this channel going in 2026, and so share this with family and friends who could benefit from these videos that are helping you to be more efficient in the kitchen and helping you on your scratch cooking journey. Any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I really do appreciate them. Thanks so much for spending this time in the kitchen with me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.